can't seem to get it out. Blank space where you shut my mouth. Filled yours with love to spit it out. I thought we wanted the same thing. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye. Now let me try to sleep. I don't care to say goodnight. It would be a lie. Another fleeting dream. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye. You never meant anything. You mean nothing to me. Just stay at home, so lost and alone. Be here, unknown. Don't tell a soul. Been so down since you left. Can't get out of this hole. Stay safe at home, so lost and alone.
Ah! Oh my god, it's all kicking off here, guys. Right, I thought I fixed that sound issue. I thought I'd fixed it. If I haven't, I'm going to end everything. Hello, guys. Ignore the technical issues. Welcome to another exciting installment of Touchline Talk, which is a special feature. I guess today it's not actually a Touchline Talk. It's actually a what's it? A post-mortem. That's what I'm trying to say. As you can see, I'm an absolute mess. You know, my computer. I'm trying to sort stuff out. It's not going well. We've got a backup chat today whilst I'm trying to figure everything out. So you're gonna have to bear with me there. Hopefully this is not too terrible. I'm gonna put it up there, I guess. Yeah, I've been trying to clean up my PC to see what the issue is. I think in doing so, I've accidentally deleted a file that's quite important somewhere because now something isn't working and it should be working. So yeah, that's going to be my task for today. To fix the PC. In which case I probably won't have time to make an analysis video of the Napoli game, so apologies for that. But there we go. But we can chat about it right now, can't we? We can chat about it right now. That's the purpose of today's post-mortem anyway. Make sure you're leaving a like on the video for this excellently tailored and crafted live show that you are witnessing before your very eyes. There is, I think there's a good amount to talk about today. Kenboy, like we haven't even started the stream and you're already being a naysayer. Like we haven't even started yet. Like, come on, let me set the scene. Let me paint the context. Yeah, come on, let's chill. Let's chill. It's all good. It's all good. As I say, I think there's a decent amount to talk about from yesterday, but I think this can be like a double whammy because we can also look ahead to the Arsenal game on the Sunday. So it's going to be like a double whammy. We can talk about both little aspects, that sort of thing. And okay, I actually, we might not be able to stream. I don't know if I can actually stream like under these circumstances like this. I don't think I can. I thought I got rid of the sound. I've no idea what's going on. I thought I got rid of the sound. You know what? Wait. No. I can do something. I can do something temporarily. It will mute a lot of other sounds, so if any other sounds come... But they shouldn't come through for today, right? Okay, I've muted the sound. The sound will not happen on the stream from now on, but I don't think any other sounds will work apart from my voice. So, like, if super chats happen which have sounds, I don't think they'll happen either. That's for me to sort out. Jesus, man, I'm so frustrated. Okay, right. Let's just ignore that, shall we? Let's just ignore that and talk about the game before I lose my entire sanity. Now it's really hard to judge the match because of the massive game state changing moment in the 20th minute, obviously. That being said, and even though it was like quite a small sample size based off that, all that being said, for that 20 minutes, I did still think that City looked good. I thought City looked solid and stable off the ball in particular. Of course, it's a 20-minute sample size. It's not really worth properly going into proper detail and analysing, hence there won't be like a match analysis video for this, but it's still worth having a quick chat about it, though, definitely. The fullbacks were a lot less aggressive off ball. There was a bit more aggression from the midfield. I think that Rodri just looking like Rodri massively helped as well. Like if you look back at like the Brighton game, for example, he's just like so. I think that it's partly because he wasn't, and the United game as well. It's partly because he was like left totally on his own, but it's also because I don't think it's a new setup, isn't it? It's a new structure, and he's being asked to do it all on his own. So I think that he was just inherently struggling as well because of how new it was. So I think he needed a little bit more help there, and I think we did give him that against Napoli, as I say, in those opening moments. So that was a nice little thing. With this chat, by the way, if like a member or a moderator can please test this for me, apparently you can embed images if you are or rather you should be able to embed images if you're a moderator or a member. Can someone please try that for me to see if the photo pops up? I don't know what that means. I think you've got to like copy the, you've got to open the image in a new tab and like put the address in. I don't know. If you guys can't figure it out, I'll try it later. But I think that's a thing. So who knows? Maybe if I can't fix that fucking volume issue, this might have to become the new chat. You know, this was like a what's it? This was a what word am I trying to say here? Something to fall back on. Essentially, something to fall back on. Yeah. So I thought City off ball looked good, even in that 20 minutes. Now, of course, the red card changed everything, and that's a bit of a shame because I was really looking forward to a good matchup between the champions of Italy and hopefully a very good City side. Hey, look at how sick that is. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Yo. All chat couldn't do that. That's kind of sick. Well done, Musty. Yeah. I don't know how that works, but there you go. We can now, and thanks to this guy. Absolutely unreal behavior from him. Absolutely unreal behavior. What we could do, I know this is like an LB thing, so I apologize for stealing it. But as part of, if you guys don't know, I am part of a social media app called Fanalysis. And as part of that, I do match ratings and like a post-match report. Would you guys like to help me with the match ratings of the players from yesterday, and they can form my official Fanalysis ratings? Let me know if that would be interesting, and that just like makes it a bit easier to go through each player, because again, like it's a bit tricky given the context of that red card, so that might make it a bit more of a fun thing. I'm hoping members can do it as well, but if it's just moderators, then I guess it's just moderators. Shall we do that then? Excellent stuff. Let's start from the back then, shall we, chat? Let's start from the back then, and we'll go through each player, and we'll chat about them a little bit, and like how they fit into the setup and all the context and members should be allowed to do it, Fenway. I wanted members to be able to do it. I'll look into it because they really should be able to do it. But that's something we need to figure out. Okay, Donnarumma, let's start from the back. Now, again, he had nothing to do after the 20th minute, but he still did. I don't know if it was offside. I don't care. It was still a good save from the corner. Again, it's a save I'd expect him to make, but still, it's a save that he had to make, even if it was given as offside straight after. I don't really care. It's still a good save. He didn't, as I say, have anything to do thereafter. I think that was the only save he had to make in the game. Napoli, obviously, after the red card, didn't put any pressure on him. Do gifts work? I don't know. Musty, you figured out how to do it. Can you see if gifts work? Let me know. I don't know. Can you get like Foden doing his gun celebration or something? Yash says he had to save it because he didn't come to claim it. I think that's harsh. To be fair. I don't think that was one where it was obvious for him to I don't think that was an obvious one for him to come and claim. To be fair to him, I think that he did everything that was asked of him. I would even say, technically, it would have gone down as an incomplete pass. However, the moment leading to the red cards, it does come from Donnarumma kicking it up for Haaland to compete. It's a Napoli defender who wins it, but Foden wins the second ball, and then from there he plays the pass through to get the red card. So if we can lock down that second ball situation, then that is going to be really good, isn't it? GIFs. Okay, maybe GIFs don't work. Okay, maybe it is just embedded images then. Maybe it's just images then. What an L. Why did he apologise to the players when he saved it? I don't know. I didn't look at that as a Donnarumma should have come to claim that. I looked at that as it's not one where it was obvious for me that he should have come out to claim it. I thought it was fine. So given that, I'd probably give him like, this is out of 100 by the way for the app. I guess you can do 7.5. That just makes 75 because 5 is average, 6 is good, 7 is great. 6 is above average, 7 is good, 8 is great, 9 is like excellent, and 10 is like perfect performance. So based on that, I'd probably give him a 65. Do you reckon 6.5, something like that, or is that too harsh? Do you reckon? 6 is average, not according to the maths. I don't give a fuck about Football Manager. I'm doing it according to maths because from 0 to 100, by definition, 50 is average and 5 is average. Sorry. So if I'm saying 5 is average, 6 is good, 7 is great. I don't think I can say that he was great, but I can say that he was between good and great. So that I'm gonna go for like a 6.5, 65 for my purposes. I think that's fair. Yeah, exactly, Herbal. Yeah, and I've been happy with basically all of his actions so far. Tricks, let me know if you're being serious or not. I'll shout at you if you are being serious. If it's a joke, then I'll let it go. But if not, then we are going to have some crosswords. Maths can get in the bin. Shut up. By definition, 50 out of 100 is average, or 5 is the average, because if you can have a score from 0 to 10, by definition, it is that. Let me know what you think, guys, about the chat, because this was just going to be a fail-safe whilst I'm fixing the old chat. But do you prefer this one? I mean, it's a lot more simple, and it doesn't distinguish between moderators and members, like, really, apart from, I think it's got, like, a star for the members or whatever. Do you prefer it to the other one? It's more minimal. Let me know what you reckon. Yeah, so it just shows a star for the members and a sword if you're a moderator. Let me know. The other one was doing too much. Okay, Fairs. You know what, Fairs? Maybe less is more. Maybe less is more. We'll do that then. We'll do that then for sure. I feel less special as a member, but as long as the sound is gone, I'm happy. You do still get your star though, Fenway. You do get your star. So that's a thing. You know, that's a thing. Okay, yeah, so I think, yeah, Donnarumma, I'm happy to point him at a 6.5/65 because barely had anything to do. The one good thing which some people have said is maybe he could have come for it. I'm not so sure I agree with that. But I've been happy with Donnarumma so far. I feel incredibly happy with my analysis video. I feel incredibly vindicated so far. The strengths that I've seen have come out. The weaknesses I've seen have come out as well. So that makes me even more happy with my work in that video. Let's come to the defense now. Let's start with Ruben Diaz, who I thought was good. You know, I thought again, I feel like in a similar vein to Donnarumma, he didn't have too much work to do. After the red card, like basically a lot of our defense didn't. So I guess we have to assess these players based on their more like on-ball work. I'd probably be tempted to give him like a similar-ish rating to Donnarumma. We'll talk about the Arsenal game as well. Yeah, we'll touch on Arsenal after we've dealt with Napoli. 65 to 70, 75. I'd probably be tempted to just... Oh, yeah, that's a good point, Fenway. That one that one shot which he so did not back himself in. Like, you could tell that was like so half-arsed from him. Like, he did not really, he was not feeling that moment. He was not feeling it. Had to go across the hall, and that's fairs. Well, I'll tell you what, because Donnarumma had that one good save, I'm just going to give Diaz the same rating, to be honest, 65. It's really hard to judge these players based off that, to be honest with you. I'm going to give him 65 / a 6.5, absolutely. And Gvardio, likewise, maybe slightly. No, actually, no, no. I think probably the same. He had a couple of good, decent efforts from outside the box. He was tidy in possession. Can't recall him having to do any defending, but that's basically the same with all of our defenders. Yeah, I'm just going to give him another 6.5 / a 65. I think that's fair. Not a fan of his hair, though. He loses marks for that, actually. He loses marks for that. That, you know, it could have been a 10 out of 10 from you, but that hair was stinky. That hair was stinky. So, I don't like his new hair. I prefer his old hair. I will give him a slightly higher rating than Diaz just because... so I'm going to give him a high 6, basically. A high 6 / low 7 for me. And in fact, I'll pop it up to a low 7 because there was a lot of good on-ball work I liked from him. I did like how he was just shooting from outside the box as well. Ramin says, have I changed my mind with Kusanov at right back? Not really, no, because I actually had to... Because, again, lots of people gaslight me. And so I had to go back and watch my Kusanov analysis video to see what I actually said in that video, because people keep gaslighting me. And what I said was... in the right back section, is Kusanov can be a competent right back, and he can be better, and he's better than Kyle Walker, but he'll never be an elite level right back. And I stand by that, to be honest with you. So I'm very happy with my assessments there as well, to be honest. We'll come to Kusanov in a moment, but let's pivot to O'Reilly, who was good. I thought like he forced a really nice save from what's he called again? It's Milinkovic-Savic, but he's got a different first name, hasn't he? Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, who was like Napoli's best player by a fair margin as well. Yeah, I thought O'Reilly did good, to be fair. Yeah, again, forced a really good save. Can't remember him having any defensive issues. I'd probably like rank him like similar-ish to Kusanov. Sorry, to Gvardio. Sort of like high 6 / low 7, that sort of thing. I thought he was like good. I thought that he was good. I don't think he was great, but again, a lot of that's informed by game states. Didn't have too much defending to do. Can't recall him making too many errors going forwards. Forced a decent save. I'm going to give him like a middling 7. So I'm going to give him 72 because again, this is out of 100 for me. So I'm going to give him the same as Yoshko. I think that's fair. Kusanov now, who had a really fun game, a really interesting game, because in that first half especially, he was basically our main, like, right winger, essentially. Like, right wing shifts, literally. And sometimes he was sometimes he was popping up at right wing, holding the width there. Sometimes he was popping up at like as a right 10. It was really fun and unusual. I liked it. It was fun. But I don't know how effective it was, like, offensively speaking. Like, there were a couple of moments where he fizzed in a good looking cross, but I think that was just sort of like, he would just hit it hard and see what happens. It hasn't made me change my thoughts. Can he be like an offensive right back in a back two? It hasn't made me believe that. I would love him to become that sort of player. I don't know if he ever will be. I don't think it would ever be fair for him to do that, to be fair, either. So I do think if you want to play a back two, you're still far more likely to be wanting to play Nunes there. Yeah, definitely Musty. And there were moments as well. It was like similar vibes to that Arsenal game where they just left like a Kanji who was it a Kanji or someone who was at right wing? That 0-0 at the Etihad or whoever it was, where they just like left him in acres of space because they were like, what are you going to do? And there was similar moments like that because he basically wasn't an offensive threat. I'm never going to judge Kusanov on going forwards though. That's stupid. Again, good defensively. There was one little moment where Spinazzola did dribble past him, but Spinazzola overcomplicated it, and Kusanov then won back the battle. So he lost the first encounter, but then he won the second encounter. So, and they were like the only two true instances of any like actual defending 1v1 that I can really recall. So I'd probably give him like similar to like Yoshko and O'Reilly. Again, high sixes, low sevens. I'm going to give him... I feel like he had a good game. And I'm going to give him a 70. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for that one. I think that's fair. What would you guys have done, though? Let me know. Do make sure we're leaving likes on the video, guys. It is free, and it helps support your boy as well. And I know you want to support the boy as well. Let's see how quickly we can get to 115 likes. Come on. Proper defender, says Herbal. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Seven, what a guy he is, yeah. The more I watch Kusanov, the more convinced I am that City's the best centre-back pairing is Yoshko and Kusanov. The more I watch Kusanov, the more convinced I am of that. Competent at right back, absolutely. Do I ever think that he should he be playing at right back? No. But I mean, I'm not happy with any of our options, so I actually do not even mind anymore. I'm now looking at it from the perspective of what setup do you want to do? What setup do you want to do? Do you want to play a back two? Do you want to play a back three? Where do you want the full back to go in midfield? That sort of thing. No DS, not in my highest ceiling one. PMAC, not in my highest ceiling one. Maybe I didn't word that very well. When we say I was wrong about right back, okay, well, let's address this right now. What was I wrong about? Because again, people keep gaslighting me. I went back to watch my video and I said that he can be a competent right back, but I don't think he'll ever be elite level. Do you think that he can be an elite level right back? Unless I see that, unless I see him being an elite level right back, then no, I won't be being proven wrong, funnily enough, because that's literally what I said. But again, people keep gaslighting me. It's not going to happen. It's like the Donnarumma thing. People keep gaslighting me. It's not going to happen. I know what I said. I think he can be a world-class centre-back, definitely. I remember this because I watched the fucking video the other day. I say that in the analysis video as well. I think that he could be destined for the absolute top. There's no reason why he can't be. Absolutely. Rodri had a borderline great game, I think. I think you could even say it was great. I felt that it was the Rodri of old. Still not Ballon d'Or level, but definitely better than any of his other performances. Certainly better than the United performance. Certainly better than the United performance. Still not the levels that he can hit, but I thought he was great, to be honest with you. And if I'm giving Gvardiol, Kusanov like low 70s, I think I've got to give like Rodri an 80 or an 8 out of 10. Yeah, definitely. That's got to be high 70s or low 80s for me. He found Foden for the first goal, who then played it into Haaland. We know that like Rodri has supreme confidence in Foden to find him. He only played 60 minutes as well. So that's a really good rest for the Arsenal game. So yeah, I'd be happy to just give him like he had a great game. I think great is a fair statement for Rodri. I thought no, I'm going to give him high 70s actually. No, I'm going to say just about misses out on great. I'm going to give him a 79. I'm going to say just misses out on great. Just because I'm a naughty boy. So there we go. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to say. I think that's fair. Again, I thought it was lovely. I thought he was solid. He looked a lot better off ball as well. Yeah, I think anywhere in that range is fine, isn't it? Anywhere in that range is fine for sure. He's not a right back. Yeah, he isn't a right back, is he? Like he isn't a right back. I will accept that, given how shit our right back situation is, that maybe like he was the best option there. But that is because our options are really wank. I'm not happy with him at right back. I'm still not happy with him at right back, and my opinion hasn't changed there. To be honest. I don't think it will until I see otherwise. Because again, I'm basing this off like his time at Lawn and his wides defending. That's the sample size I'm rocking with. That's all I have to work with. And based on that, the wides defending was a weakness. And against tricky wingers, I think we will see that. So it's important to me that we get a right back. If anyone doesn't want to get a right back, then you must also agree with me that he's not going to be an elite right back. If you think he is going to be an elite right back, why do we need to sign one? If there's already one here at the club. I don't think that's the thing. Is he the best option at the moment? It depends, Ken Boy. It depends. If you're playing a back three, yes. If you're playing a back two, no. Depends. Reinders looked a lot better. Reinders looked a lot better. Still not really hit the levels that I know he's capable of hitting. But he forced a really good block by, who was it that blocked it? Politano? Was it? Is that what he's called? Yeah, Politano, yeah. That was really nice. He got the assist, yeah, mate. that was a thing. It's still not quite there for him yet. He still hasn't quite, still hasn't quite clicked for him. But it was better than the United game. It was better than the Brighton game. It was better than the Spurs game. It's still not up there with his, Wolves performance. But he looks a lot nice. Yeah, definitely, Dave. Definitely, the slow game did suit him. I think that's a really good assessment, to be honest with you. Doesn't surprise me. Like, the Champions League is a slower competition than the Premier League. That helps because he was obviously in Serie A, which again is a slower league than the Premier League. So I feel like maybe like low 70s for Reinders for me. If I'm giving Rodri high 70s, I'm giving like Gvardiol low 70s. I feel like a low 70s is probably about fair for Reinders. I thought he was good. I thought he was solid, steady. You know, I thought he was fine. So I'd probably give him like a 7 or a 70 in that case. What do you guys feel? Matthew says a 7.4. Yash only a 60. Mussy says he was like a 75. 68 for SWK. What are the priorities in the winter window? Right back. Has to be right back, doesn't it? We don't need any other... I don't think that we can justify bringing in any other options, or I don't think we can fit any other options. I like seeing Reinders drift into the left to let Doku play more inside. Definitely Fenway, yeah. 100%. I'm really enjoying this Doku central work that's going on. Like, dribbling is going to be at its most dangerous, to be fair, in the centre, especially if you can go both ways. And Doku's just a menace to deal with. So definitely, I'm loving his chemistry with Reinders and Foden so far. Doku, 100%, 100%. Doku play more century could be elite. Definitely Fenway. And hey, if when Ait-Nouri comes back, that's going to get even better. That's going to get even better. Like, I know we keep going back to this, but remember that Juventus game where Doku started on the left, Ait-Nouri started in the centre, but then they would rotate loads, and then you'd have Ait-Nouri off the left and Doku centrally, so he would be enabled to go more central. Having an even better left-back option, again, no disrespect to Nico O'Reilly, but having an even better option in Ait-Nouri doing that, and hopefully developing that connection, it's going to be really good. And I tell you what, it's, Marmouche, he is not going to have an easy time getting into this team right now, to be honest with you. It was very funny. Lots of people thought that Marmouche was going to be competing with Foden this season. I didn't buy that for one moment. To me, it was going to be between Doku and Marmouche. Unfortunately for Marmouche, he's got this injury. And again, unfortunately for him, Doku's performing really well the past couple of games. So I do see it as being a choice between the two of them right now, to be honest with you. In like what I'd consider City's best starting 11, that sort of thing. I'm not saying you can't fit them in together. You absolutely can. But that's the thing. Speaking of Doku, we're on him now. Obviously got the assist. Sorry, obviously got the goal. Ridiculous solo goal. And here's the thing as well. I think someone mentioned it before. I'm so sorry, I can't recall who said it in the chat earlier. Someone said it's not fair to just disregard City scoring these goals because City, whilst they were up against 10 men, Nevertheless, you're up against a side who only want to camp and defend. So if anything, it's even more impressive that Doku was able to just bypass, seemingly, the entire Napoli defensive line all on his own. It's a ridiculous solo goal. A fantastic assist by Ryan Desno. It is a ridiculous solo goal. And I'm not being funny. How many players in world football can score that goal? I'm not being funny. I think I reckon you could count the players on one hand. I don't think there are many who can pick up the ball in the position Doku did and do what he did and put the ball in the back of the net as well. It's mainly that, I mean, I'm not saying obviously people can score the goal. It was more so the way he got to that position. I honestly don't know how many can do it. I think it's like less than 5. You know, Wilfred Bodie, shut up. Real Madrid's front line and Doku and Yamal, says Fenway. Yeah, we're talking about a very limited number of players here who can do that. I know that when we signed him, Doku was like statistically the best dribbler in the world. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what I said in my analysis video based on the data, or it was in the top 1% anyway. I can't recall, but yeah, it is ridiculous how few players could do that. The tight control is insane. Long may it continue. He's been really good the past couple of games. I felt like he got a bit of unfair criticism for the Wolves game because he wasn't getting enough support. But we see what happens if you give him the support. Like, if you give him runners, then Foden will score goals like that, or Reinders will score goals similar to that. If you give him access to not just the wings, because he does need access to the wings, but also access to the central areas, then he's going to do stuff like that, like for the goal, that first goal against United, or indeed his goal against Napoli. So more of that, please. And as I say, I really hope it continues to improve when Aït-Nouri comes back into the side as well. Sadly, Matthew, I think that Trent's missing the game, so I don't think we're going to see Doku. Ian says that's baptism form. Brilliant. Thoughts on the Doku Rodrigo stats? I don't know what the rule is here, but when we lost against Brighton, everyone was telling me that it was a mistake to not get Rodrigo. Now those people have been quite quiet since. Is it still a mistake, or do we only say that? Do we only say that it's a mistake to do that when City lose? Like, which is it? Are we being consistent, or are we being convenient here? Like, which one is it? I expect the same energy if that's your take. You can't change it on a whim match to match. There's got to be some consistency here, surely. Big up to Luke. It was my first ever Champions League home match yesterday. Great experience, great result. Felt weird seeing Kev in a different club's kit, yeah. And sadly, we only saw him for 20 minutes as well, didn't we? We only saw him for 20 minutes, which was a shame. I was hoping for like a good match, and obviously I'm not going to say no to the red card. I want City to win, but I was hoping for like a better back and forth sort of game, that sort of thing. But hey ho, it's a thing. Doc is basically playing the way Rodrigo does. Yeah. Doku, Foden, Haaland will be lethal this season, says Will. I hope so. It's just when City lose. Very convenient. Very convenient. You got to have the same energy, man. You can't change your opinion week to week to week on a footballer. That ain't how it works, yeah? That ain't how it works. Sample size is a thing. You can't just... It's like the Foden thing, which we'll get into. You can't just sack off a player for even a season. Even a season isn't enough to properly judge a player, really. Like, if I'm comparing two players to each other, and the question is like, Nobbins, which player do you think is better, A or B? My question is, right, who's been the better player over the past, like, 2 to 3 years? I can't do it based off, like, the last... preferably not even the last 2 seasons. Certainly not the last season. You got some people changing week to week, flip-flopping around. It's insane what some people will do. It's absolute madness. What is happening? It's like, oh, this player's now better than that player. Well, no. Because a season is basically just form. Really. It needs to be a minimum 2, preferably at least 3, I would say, before I'm comfortable, in the most part, comparing one player to another. It's a thing. It's a good point, Fenway, to be fair. It's a good point. The stat was Doku has 5G in his last 3 games. Rodrigo has 5G since February. Damn, what a fraud. Damn, what a fraud. That's crazy. We don't need Rodrigo now, says Quinton. We yet to lose a game where Doku starts this season, says Kem. Hey, until he proves that he shouldn't start every single game that he can start, he's now got to be. He's now got that left side locked down, surely. Oh, look at this! It does that as well. Shark Edge, thank you so much for joining the Ultras Club. Sorry, welcome to the Ultras Club. Big up to you. You are now in a Beanie Ultra. And your random footballer is Longley. Longley. Big up. It does that for Twitch channel point redemptions as well, Musty, but it's purple. I can modify it to an extent, but it's not as customizable as my previous one. That's all. Let me know what you're thinking, Musty, and DM it to me. So with all that being said, as I say, I'm super happy that that we have been backing Doku. I'm gonna defend LB for a moment, just because I see it quite often. People are a little bit snarky about what he said about him. Based on the conversations LB and I have had about Doku anyway, I can't speak for his other streams or whatever. Based on the conversations we have had, LB's stance has simply been that he just wants to see more output from Doku and he wants to see a better connection with Haaland. Now, I think those takes are perfectly reasonable, to be honest with you. So I'm going to defend him there, to be fair. Thank you so much. We've got another member here, Jings. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Ultras Club. Although I am going to name and shame you now, matey. What is that? What is that profile picture? Come on. I mean, your random footballer's Ben Foster. In honor of Ben Foster, make your profile picture Ben Foster for me, yeah? Make your profile picture Ben Foster, yeah? Make it so it's not just a J. But yeah, shout out, mate. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes, so on Doku, I'm happy that we've not abandoned him, I feel like. I'm not going to say I'm like his biggest defender. However, I do feel like I have definitely tried. I've always made the case that Doku will always add value to a City side. In a similar-ish way how I always saw Grealish added value to City and that he was able to drag City up the pitch, even if he wasn't necessarily offering anything directly. But Doku does that a lot better. And the concern for me in Doku's first season was actually his decision-making and how he kept losing the ball and turning it over. That's improved massively. I feel like the decision-making has definitely gotten a lot better. So I was really happy. I was really happy with Doku's performance and just happy with how he started the season as well. So what are we giving him then, chat? Because we've got to bear in mind he's not getting man of the match because that's obviously going to go to Foden. But I thought he was really good. Who's the highest rating so far? The highest rating so far is Rodri on 79. What do we reckon for Doku? Because, again, I've got to think about it. Because I'm going to give Foden, like, maximum. I'm not going to give Foden a 90. I'm going to give, like, Foden probably mid to high 80s. So, based on that, I've got to give Doku low to mid 80s. Based on that. But what do you guys reckon? Naveen says a 9. 88 to 92. 9. 8.3 says Dave. 85. 8.7 for Foden. 84 for Doku says Quinton. 83. I'm not gonna push it up to 85. I'll give him an 83 though. I think that's fair. That's a good point, Kenboy, to be fair. Like, because Foden should have had an assist for that. Was it against Wydad where Foden played the corner to Doku and he scored from it because he was free at the back post? It was like a carbon copy of that move. So that was a bit of a shame. Had he bagged that as well, then it would be even higher. But yeah, I thought Doku was really impressive. Remember, guys, an 8 that means you've had a great game. 80 is great. Because remember, 50 is average. According to the math. Yeah? Going all American there. 80 is great. I think he had a great game. 9 means you've had, like, an excellent game. 10 is perfect. So, I don't think I'll ever give a 10, really. But Well, to be fair, like if Haaland against Norway, I guess would technically be a 10, wouldn't it? So there we go. I think I'm happy with 83. Bernardo. Bernardo's game was really weird. So he looked a lot better, like, again, context of the red card. But he looked a lot better when he was the one holding width on the right side in the second half. First half, he was more of a central player, wasn't he? And then, as I say, the first half, it was Kusanov mainly as the right-sided outlet. Bernardo, more of the right-sided outlet in the second half. Yeah, exactly, Faisal, he did. And once again, maybe that's just because of the game state up against 10 men. I don't know. But either way, I thought he was fine. Like, I'm not going to give him... I'm not going to push into a 70. I feel like I'm going to give him... no, his pressing work was good. I'm going to give him 68. Why not? Why not? It's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky. Actually, no. I don't feel right saying that he played better than Donnarumma. I'm gonna give him slightly lower than Donnarumma. I'm gonna give him a 64. I think that's fine. That's fine. There's not much to say about Donnarumma. Sorry, there's not much to say about Bernardo. I thought he was solid. Again, 6 means above average. So if I give him 64, he's on the cusp of getting closer to having a good game. So he's between above average and good. I think that's reasonable. Foden, man of the match, obviously. Obviously the man of the match. Would you guys like to hear some fun data? What was the stupid stats? Only, like the last time a City player created... had like Opta chances of at least 8 was Kevin De Bruyne against Real Madrid in 2023 when we won the treble, I believe. This is now the second time that Foden's got 8 Opta chances created in a match in his Champions League career as well. I can't remember the last time. Again, expected assists can be a very helpful stat. Absolutely. Only really through watching the game, but this is definitely applicable. I can't remember the last time I saw an expected assists of 1.5. Like that is a mentally high number. To put that into context, if you got 0.4 expected assists, that would be ridiculously high. So the fact that he's got more than nearly 4 times that amount is ridiculous. Like, that is insanity. I can't recall the last time a City player did that, really, unless I'm missing something. I'm assuming Kevin De Bruyne did that most recently of any City player, but that is ridiculous. Now, I've seen some people say, oh, but, like, a lot of it was corners, right? So, I was saying this last year as well. Do you know how shit we are at corners? Do you know how wank we are at corners? We need a good corner taker. I'm not being funny, but Kevin De Bruyne was bad at taking corners, and City bad at creating chances from corners as well. This is very good that we now have a player who is very good at taking corners. He added that to his game last season. He's still adding it. He's still improving this year. This season already, he could have had like 3 assists. Was it the one to Gvardiol, which was the free header? There was one against Spurs where Rodri had the free header as well. In that first half, he started off the right, and I got a little bit concerned because I was like, "Oh my god, like why is he starting off the right wing here? What on earth is going on?" But then, thankfully, on ball, he did shift into the centre, and he was allowed to be that guy in the middle, so that was fine. The notion that he can't create for others, that was a moronic take. Hopefully, that's dead in the water. It should never have existed, but hopefully that's dead now. This notion that he never created for Haaland, again, that was bullshit objectively based on the data. He actually created the exact same as De Bruyne did for Foden. De Bruyne did for Haaland across their respective careers. So that's a load of bollocks as well in respect to the expected numbers. And again, hopefully that shit's now been put to bed. Wonderful connection. Did everything right, basically. Solid off ball as well. Still hasn't quite got the outside of the shots, outside of the box shooting locked down yet that he had a couple years ago. That's still to come, hopefully. But looked really good. Obviously, the man of the match. I think I'm going to give him... I'm not going to give him a 9 because I feel like in order to do that, he just needs, you know, that chance that he had where he dragged it wide, that would have to go in, for example, for me to push it up to a 9. I'm going to give it a high 8, though, high 80s. I think I'm going to agree with you, Fenway. I'm thinking 87 or 88, and I think 87 is more realistic, isn't it? So I'm going to go for an 87, but I can see why you'd understand that. This is interesting from AP, who by the way, big up to AP, one of the only people who listened to me when I said that maybe Foden should be playing at left centre midfield. Big up to AP. Seems like he's blending his 2021 style with his 2024 style. Foden will reach crazy levels. Oh, I love that you've actually changed it to Ben Foster. You guys are so based. Well done, guys. Here's a stat that Musty sent me. Since the start of 22-23, there have been only 2 occasions in which a player recorded more than 1.35 expected assists in a Champions League match. And that was Foden against, is that Red Star Belgrade? And Foden against Napoli. That is insane. And what I was going to say, just like building off what AP said there, is this idea, which I really, the more I think about it, the more I really believe it. Foden is whatever you want him to be. If you think about it, and as I say, the more I think about it, the more convinced I am of this. I think we touched on it yesterday. I want to go into a bit more detail now, though, just before we move on to the Haaland one. What did City need when Foden was first breaking through in like 2018, 2019? That's when he first properly started to break through. Well, we didn't need any midfielder because we had Fernandinho, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. What we needed at that point was a different sort of threat out wide. And that's certainly what happened when his first proper season, when he first properly broke in, was 2020-21, wasn't it? Now, that was also obviously when Leroy Sané had left the club. And that was his best position that season. I don't think I'm getting the years wrong. I think that was when he was mainly a left winger. And that's what we needed at the time. We needed a more direct goal-scoring option on the wings. Mainly left, but also a bit on the right. And there was no space in the middle, and that's what Foden was. So he was far more direct, he was far more aggressive, he was far more vertical. That's what City needed. That's what City got from him. Season after, which was 21-22. Yeah, absolutely fine. So that was the season where he like helped take us to the Champions League final for the first time. Season after, what was the thing that City most needed? False 9 option. I know we played false 9 the season before, but I think by that point, De Bruyne was like, we were trying to play De Bruyne, but it was being misused there. So what did City need in that season? Because that was when we brought in Grealish, wasn't it, to play off the left? Didn't necessarily need that left winger anymore. Well, we need a false 9 now because we still haven't sorted out the striker situation. We couldn't bring in Harry Kane. We're now going to have another season of it. Play him as a false winger because that's exactly what we need. And he was our best false 9 option. We needed him to play at false 9. He played at false 9. That's exactly what happened. The season after, Haaland comes in. What do we need then? Well, actually, we need more of a presence off the right-hand side. We need more presence off the right-hand side now. We don't need a false 9 anymore. We've got Erling Haaland in. Got Jack Grealish. And sadly, his second half of the treble season was marred by injuries. But if you remember, the first half of that season, he was our best option at right wing, Foden. He was our best option at right wing in the 22-23 season before his injury. What does City need? Needed more of a right winger. What does Foden become? Right winger. Yeah, fairs, man. Okay, I'm noticing a pattern here. Season after. What do we need? Well, Kevin De Bruyne is gone. Kevin De Bruyne is gone for half a season. Yeah, his hamstring is cooked. What do we need? We now need someone who is going to... Well, we need a midfielder. Absolutely, because by now David Silva's gone, Fernandinho's gone, Gundogan's gone, not replaced. Kevin De Bruyne's gone for half the season. What we need now is a midfielder, specifically an attacking midfielder. We didn't need a deeper player necessarily, because we've got Rodri, we've got Kovacic. Calvin Phillips. Was he even at the club in 23-24, or was that when he went on loan? I can't even remember the Calvin Phillips timeline. But either way, what we needed was someone to provide goals from midfield, just provide general creativity from midfield, and try to fill that Kevin De Bruyne void to some extent. And basically, not carry us, but be that guy. Be that guy to fill in for De Bruyne's absence. And he won Player of the Year. Last season, we all know what happened last season with the entire squad, to be fair. And what is it we need now? What is it we need now? Well, we realistically need what he's provided so far. We need a midfielder who can help out in all phases of the play. When Shirky comes back into the side, we don't necessarily need him to be that sole creative presence, but we will need him to... Right back? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a really good point. Yeah, he's a fraud because he didn't fill in at right back this season, actually. That's a really good point, Arman. Well done. Yeah, that's what we need right now in the centre. When Shirky comes back into the side, we don't necessarily need him to be the key creative option, because that's what Shirky can be. But we certainly need what he's offering right now. I'm noticing a pattern here, chat. I'm noticing a pattern. Whatever City needs in a given season, Foden delivers. And we tend to win the title. That is what I am noticing, funnily enough. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you think I'm an idiot. But that is just an observation, and I think that the more I think about it, the more I go through the timeline, the more convinced I am of that. I seriously think that's a thing. So I'm giving, in conclusion, I'm giving Foden an 87, an 8.7. I think that's fine. I think that's good. Well, it's more than good. It's actually great. It's bordering on excellent. AB, I agree. Now, again, on that season, was he good? No. He was actually subpar. Was he like dog shit, like people were saying? No. Was he bad for his very high standards? Yeah, of course. But in a vacuum, was he dog shit? No. No way. He was still our second best player in respect of output. How many goals and assists did he get? I know it's not the be all and end all, but if we're talking about, if you're going to play badly, at least have some output to you. How many did he get last season? I actually don't know the answer to that. How many did he get in 24-25? I can look this up, can't I? I don't need to. I'm so lazy sometimes. By sometimes, I mean all the time. And then we'll move on to Haaland. That's what we'll do. Is he going to score the win in the next match, which is title contender? I'd be amazed if we win on Sunday. I'll be so honest with you. I'd like to be positive, but I've got to be somewhat realistic here. 19. In a bad year, still gets 13 goals and 13 goals and 6 assists. 19. The last time he failed to get double-digit goals for City was in 1920. Which was before his proper breakout year. That's stupid. That's insane. And again, that's a bad year. Crazy. Crazy. Haaland, guys. Scored the goal. Lovely relationship with Foden. Did really well. We didn't even touch on like Foden's pass to create the red card, by the way. Unbelievable pass. That Trivela he did to Savio for United. The Trivela he did to Haaland to win the red card. Unreal. Credit to Haaland for running onto it as well, of course. And forcing the red card as well. Yeah, exactly, Musty. So obviously got the goal. His 50th goal, guys. His 50th goal in the Champions League in 49 games. That is silly. Yeah, that's silly. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. I don't know how he does it. That's ridiculous. I'm not willing to say he's better than Doku, though, because I gave Doku an 83, so I'm not willing to place Haaland higher than that. What would you guys go for, though? Let me know. I'm thinking just like maybe a solid 8. A solid 80. Yeah, it's a good point. He doesn't normally score with his head, does he? To put that in perspective, I gave Rodri 79. So they're basically the same. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. Yeah. I think that's good. That's decent, but let me know what you guys reckon. Yeah, 1.02 goals a game. That's a stupid ratio. Really stupid. I don't know if it is dead though, is it, Fenway? If anything, I feel like it's only increased in severity since he's moved to Liverpool. I don't know. I think it's the opposite. Why'd you say Holland and not Haaland? I don't say Holland. I say Haaland. There's no D being pronounced because it's the Norwegian pronunciation, guys. Come on now. Sort it out. Yeah, and that's the thing as well. This goalkeeper, and this isn't hyperbole, is 8'7", and he looped the header over him. Like, that's dumb. That's stupid. Yeah, exactly. He scored against Thanos. That's insane. Weak head game, Iron Man. You need to chill, bro. You need to calm down. That's crazy. Yeah, exactly, Dave. Exactly. I think it's the best ratio of anyone in that top 50 list of like Champions League goal scorers. And if you look at the list, I tweeted out the list. He should be targeting he should be targeting, I reckon, in fact, let me know, how many more Champions League goals should he be looking to score? Because we're going to play another minimum 7 games. Haaland's going to play the majority of those, and we'd like to think we're going to play like at least 4 knockout games. So he might be playing like another 8, 9, 10 Champions League games. He should be looking to get another 7, 8, 9, that sort of area, shouldn't he? That sort of range. Maybe even 10. Given how many games he should be playing. It depends on injuries, obviously. Now, if he does that, then he will have eclipsed Ruud van Nistelrooy, who's 6 ahead of him right now, and Muller, who is 7 ahead of him right now. Now now Mbappe is 7 ahead of him. However, it's very unlikely he's going to eclipse Mbappe this season because Mbappe is obviously still playing this season. He's going to score goals as well. I'd expect him to eclipse Mbappe next season. But if he's at 50 now, there's a world where he can get to like 58, 59, 60, in which case he's only like around 10 off Raul, and then we're talking about getting into the top 5. That sort of range. So I think by the end of next season, he will be in the top 5, and he'll only have Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, and Benzema to eclipse. And but for injuries, I can't see anything other than he will have the record. Can't think of anything else. That is mental. I mean, Ronaldo's numbers are insane, but he's played 183 games. So that is sort of why. Haaland's played 49. It's so dumb. He's at least 50 in the group stages. The fixtures are slightly easy. Well, that Napoli one is definitely one of the tricky ones. That's now out of the way. The Bodo Glimt game is going to be fun for him. It's away, though, isn't it? Is that away on an artificial pitch? Is it going to be one of those? Overall, Isak's more complete, but Haaland's far better. Yeah, the whole... I don't necessarily dislike the whole he's a complete striker thing. I think that's fine, but some people have it twisted. They think that more complete means better, which isn't necessarily true. Because just because someone's like more complete and balanced, I'm not saying that Isak is this sort of player, but that could mean that they don't actually excel necessarily at anything. That might just mean that they're quite good at a little bit of everything. But sometimes a specialist is what you're after. And that's what Haaland is. So you get what I mean? Like, he is a ridiculous goal scorer. That is what he is. But the idea that he can't do anything else, it is deceptive and disingenuous because we know that he can offer other things as well. I think, I'm not saying you're saying it all, Diallo, by the way, but some people definitely confuse being like this is what they say as well. They say, oh, well, Haaland's a better striker, but he's a better footballer. And I'm like, well, what does that actually mean? What that actually means is that you prefer watching this player and it's aesthetics bias. That's all I can really conclude. I don't know how you can watch, like, because the comparison, I'm going to name names, is always between Haaland and Mbappe. And it was after Haaland's season where he won the Ballon d'Or. I don't care. He won the Ballon d'Or that year, yeah? And people still going, and it's like, well, Haaland will never be better than Mbappe. And it's like, well, what are we doing here? If he had that season, the season after, and the season after, and the season after, then what leg do you have to stand on, RE saying that that player is better than him? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I get it. Like, he's not pretty to watch for you. Whatever. I like watching him. I think he's insane. I think he's a menacing machine. But it annoys me. It does annoy me. Does Nobbins have a job? This is my job, Hayes. This is my job. So that's Haaland. Last one to rate, guys. Oh, to be fair, we could rate the subs as well. I don't know how many minutes did they get though. Like, I don't even think I need to rate them. I don't even think I'm going to rate them, to be honest. There's an option to not rate subs. I'm just going to do that because I don't think that any of them particularly did anything. Especially Ake, can't really remember. Nico, he was solid. He was fine. Savio, I've not been enjoying his cameos, but he's only briefly had them. And you know my thoughts on him. I do think that he's better off the right anyway. He can do a job off the left, obviously, but I do think he's a better overall player off the right. The last one to rank, guys, is Pep Guardiola. What shall we give Pep? I thought that if all of the players who started yesterday are able to start on Sunday, then I have zero problems with the lineup. The only concern I had was, like, what if the players who've just come back from injury, like Foden, Joshko, Rodri to a lesser extent, what if they're not able to play on Sunday? Wait, Fireborn, where's that come from? Is that Cap? Where's that come from? Where's that come from? Is that fake news, or is that fake news? Is he a doubt? Has this been confirmed? Hello? If it is, I'm going to give Pep a 0. I'm going to give him a 0. If he's actually a doubt. In isolation, I'd probably give Pep a 70. Like, you know, it is tricky up against 10 men. You're not wrong at all. Yeah, Fireborn says Rodri is a doubt for Sunday. Is that fake news? Or is that really a thing? Pep said Rodri felt uncomfortable in training and still played him. Rodri's just managing his fitness so he tells the coach when he wants to come off. Okay, good. Fake news. Oh, okay, thank God. Pep said Rodri asked to come off. Well, hopefully it's all right. The Guardian. Pep unsure if Rodri will be fit enough to start. Well, hopefully that's just like mind games or whatever. Hopefully that's just mind games. We'll obviously see. Deary me. Hopefully he's fine, of course. That's my only concern. That's my only concern. Like, if... And that was why, in my prediction, I rotated Rodri, Foden, Gvardiol, because I was concerned that they wouldn't be able to do that. No, what's Ornstein said? Musty, tell me. What's Ornstein said now? Has he said something naughty? Arsenal match preview when? Probably tomorrow, mate. Probably tomorrow. No, definitely tomorrow, because the match is on Sunday, isn't it? There's no rest. As I say, there will not be a Napoli preview. I was going to do like a Foden isolated analysis video, but I don't know how much value there is in that, apart from like just like, you know, wanking off Foden. And I feel like I've done that enough already. And to be honest, I need to use the time. I want to use the time to fix my PC, so I'm not going to have time anyway. So I don't really have the time to do it, because I need to fix this PC, man, with all the issues that are going on. Honestly, it's upsetting me. One of just a YouTube short. I guess we could do like, you know, five things we learned. I don't know, but again, I don't know what the observations would be. I don't know. I'll have a think. So this is what Ornstein said. Gone are the days of City being able to outmuscle their Premier League title rivals in the market. That's a weird thing to say. It's an odd thing to say. When have we ever outmuscled our Premier League title rivals? Or indeed, like, Champions League rivals? We didn't get Declan Rice. We didn't get Bruno Guimaraes. We didn't get Bellingham. We didn't get Jorginho. We didn't get what's he called? Who was that Napoli centre-back called? Koulibaly. We didn't get Alexis Sanchez. We didn't get Harry Maguire. We didn't get Mahrez in the time periods that we wanted him. We didn't get Harry Kane. We didn't get who else didn't we get that we like were desperately after? Didn't get Isco. Who else? I feel like there's loads of players I'm missing, but there's so many players that we didn't get. So many. That's always been the case, though. I've just, like, reeled off some names from, like, 10 years ago, I feel like. Didn't get Rodrigo, yeah. Didn't get any Newcastle player. Didn't get Livramento. I don't even know what they're talking about. Didn't get Cristiano Ronaldo. Good point. Very good point. Didn't get Kaká. Yeah. I don't know what that's... I feel like that's... I'm not having a go, but I feel like that's just like... That's not the take of a journalist. That's the take of like a fan on the overlap who hasn't actually done any research and just has assumed something. You know, so they've just like said something as if it's a fact, and they've concluded that it's a fact without really looking into it. You know, like when people say, well, and of course, the only reason Man City got away with the Court of Arbitration for Sport case is because all of it was time barred. Like, that's not true. That's not true. You've read something somewhere out of context or something like that, and it's wrong. And it's wrong. So that's a silly thing to say. He means more often than not. But when's it ever happen? Like, when does it ever really happen? Didn't get Van Dijk? Yeah, it's a good question as well. That's a good point as well. When has there really been a time where City have been up against a Premier League title rival and we're both after the same player and the reason why we've got them is because we were like willing to spend more money than them? Because that's what he said, isn't it? What I mean, so if those are the examples where it didn't happen, what are the examples where it did happen? I'm trying to think. You guys help me? Because you can't say Donnarumma because he didn't want to go to Man United. / United didn't want to pay his wages. So I can't even count Donnarumma. Haaland, well, that was between us and Real Madrid, so not even a Premier League title rival. And again, then that was nothing to do with finances. We know that, like, Haaland confirmed, like, you know, the wages, like the financial incentive was basically the same. I picked City for that particular project. That's nothing to do with getting the player. I can't even name like one. Like of recent history, anyway. Like over the past, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. Which was the player that we outmuscled our title rival over? Let me know. It's a plucked quote, but it's an incorrect thing to say. I don't care what. It doesn't matter what the context is. If you say that, it's wrong. Maybe Gvardiol, says AP. But no, Chelsea bid 100 million for him and was rejected, but we're going for 79. Well, I have no idea then. I don't really understand. I don't really know. I have no idea, Ken Boy. That's what I mean. I'm struggling to think of anything. The only one the one that sticks out in the mind the most is Declan Rice. And I guess Wirtz. Like, those are the only two that spring to mind. and we didn't get either of those players. But those are the only ones where it's like, oh yeah, it was the Rice one was clearly toe-to-toe City and Arsenal, and Rice didn't pick us. I don't know. Alexis Sanchez, that's another good example. Yeah, odd. Can't really odd thing to say. Again, it stinks of like, I don't know. It just stinks of like being, I don't know, laziness. I don't actually know. I don't actually know what it is. I don't really understand. Talk about overall spending, but that doesn't work either, because if you look at those spending charts from people like Blue City Brian, it's always clubs like United who are ahead of us anyway. So that can't be right. That can't be right. Very odd. Very, very odd. Anyway, guys, that was the Napoli game. Do we want to turn our attention to Arsenal? Just for like the last section of this video. Let's get to 150 likes, by the way, chat. We've got over 200 people watching, which is very lovely. But let's get up to 150, please. Thank you very much. Should I have a brief chat about that? Arsenal, as I say, there will be a preview. There will be a preview for the Arsenal game, because I didn't watch their most recent game, which was against Forest. Was it? I'm not in the league. Sorry. So I will give that a watch before my preview, just to double check that they haven't didn't change anything or their way of playing. Otherwise, I do know how they play, and that's fine. Fenway says, I feel a lot better about the Arsenal match, given that we've got 6 points in the last 2 matches. Softens the blow if and when we drop points. It's so frustrating that we drop points against Brighton and Spurs, because if we'd have drawn against Spurs and won against Brighton, which I feel like that would have been, to me, that was quite realistic to have happen. Then I could have gone to Sunday and going, right, a draw is a really good result for City at the Emirates, But if we want to win the title, and I don't know what City's ceiling is this season, I don't know what our ceiling is, because it seems to shift week to week. It's sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I'd like to think that it will click, come sort of November time. So it's very tricky to assess. There's of course a world where City can maybe go on a really good run, but you do feel like if we lost again, so that would be 3 out of, what's that, 3 out of 6? Is that right? Lost half our games, 6 played. Although to be fair, that's a loss, but either way, it's still a thing. So I don't even know. I'm not going to say I'd be unhappy. I'm not going to say I'd be unhappy with a defeat. So I'm not going to say I'd be unhappy with a draw. That's what I'm trying to say here. Is it realistic to say that we're going to win, though? And I don't know. Arsenal have looked very good this season so far. Aside from the United game, where they were a little bit stinky in that one, in fairness. But I know they lost against Liverpool, but they didn't look bad at all by any means. They're at the Emirates as well. It's going to be so interesting to see the approach. I think they will press us, and I think this will be the first big test for this new look back line in respect of build-up. I can't see anything else other than Arsenal committing to a really intense press. Be amazed if they opted to sit back and allow us to have most of the ball at the Emirates. I'd be very surprised at that. So I do think that we're going to see a very stern test for our back line, as I say. We might have to... and I guess I don't know what the solution would be with that. Definitely, yeah. And this is something that I touched in the Donnarumma video. Gvardiol is an essential every single game right now. I think, because Files just said who's going to play right back, the question isn't who's going to play right back. The question is, do you want to play a back 2 or do you want to play a back 3? I think that's the question. Or, that's not necessarily the question if you want to play Ake left back. And that is a viable option, because we know that Ake tends to play very well against Arsenal at left back, and Madueke's looked quite good. So I guess so maybe that should be the starting point, actually. Who should the left back be? Do we stick with O'Reilly? Or do we pivot to a more defensively solid option in Ake? And do we go 4 centre-backs at the back? What do you guys reckon? I think Gvardiol has to stay at centre-back. What would you guys prefer, though? O'Reilly left-back or Ake left-back? You are obviously losing a lot going forwards if you don't have O'Reilly, but you're gaining a good amount with Ake defensively. What do you guys suppose, though? Left-back. What do you reckon? There's a part of me that's sort of tempted to predict him to play Ake left back. But Saka isn't playing, but Madueke is playing, and he's played all right. So if he has the legs anymore, that's reasonable. I thought O'Reilly did amazingly well against Mbumo and Dallo, was it? Against United. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with O'Reilly. And if we're saying a back three, then that means you have to play Kusanov right back. That's now the thought process. Because you can't play a back three and have any other right back option. If you're having O'Reilly as your left back, and if you're playing what we assume is going to be Gvardiol and Diaz, and if you want a back three. So it would have to be the exact same back line. And what I would do, and spoilers for the preview, what I'm going to predict, because Pep did it for this one, I'm just going to predict him to play the exact same starting 11, bar any injuries, obviously. I'm going to predict him to play the exact same starting 11. It's 3 games in 7 days for players like Foden and Gvardiol who have just come back from injury. But the fact that Foden's now played, and I know Gvardiol went off after 80 minutes, but Gvardiol played the full 90 against United. He played 80 minutes against Napoli. And it's not even like the second goal went in and he immediately took off Gvardiol. He played on for like another 15 minutes. That tells me that Gvardiol was fine to start again. And it's similar vibes with Foden as well. That's 2 full 90s in a row now. If there was like a fitness concern for Sunday, because obviously at that point, if there was a concern, you'd take him off after the 65th minute, wouldn't you? But he didn't. That tells me that there is no fitness concern about Sunday, because we know they have to start. The only question mark is Rodri, who did come off after 60 minutes, of course. Will I guess, I'm guessing, is there like a Pep press conference about the Arsenal game tomorrow, maybe? So we'll see what happens. But I'd be tempted to just run the exact same team that's worked 2 games in a row. I would like to start Bob instead of Bernardo. But if I'm saying let's just play the exact same starting 11, then fuck it. Let's just play the exact same starting 11. Let's just do that. And I guess we'll see, because this will be the first proper test. This will be the first proper test of for City, really. Since they've actually started winning games. That's what I mean anyway. You know what I mean. Again, United at home, that can only tell us so much. Napoli against 10 men, that can only tell us so much. This one would tell us a lot. A lot. If it's the exact same team, to be honest with you. You'd pull Rodri from the starting 11, says Fenway. I don't think we can afford to do that at the Emirates, you know. If there was a game to pull Rodri from, it was a Napoli one. It had to be. It had to be, surely. What if Arsenal get a red? Hey. It happened a lot last season. It did happen a lot last season. In fact, it happened in our game last season, didn't it? The Etihad. So it could be a thing. No chance Nunes starts. Pep knows he'll panic and make mistakes at the Emirates. Yeah, and also that there's no way you can start... The only way you can start Nunes and play a back 3 is if you play Ake left back. Or I guess Gvardiol left back. But I don't really want to entertain Gvardiol left back right now, because he's clearly really good at left centre back. So the only way you can entertain that and keep your back 3 is by having Ake at left back. And if we're saying that we want O'Reilly to play at left back, then yeah, you simply can't have Nunes anyway. You can't have Lewis there either, unless you can if you want to play a back 2. You can if you want to play a back 2. But right now, no, you'd have to play that, wouldn't you? I saw the press conference. Rodri's fine. Rodri spoke after the match. He's fine. Okay, great. So that's lovely. Or Gvardiol, Diaz, Kusanov, back 3. Yeah, but I don't want Gavardio left back. I want him at left centre back for me. That's a thing. That's a thing for me. Based on recent history, Arsenal seem due for a red card, hopefully. I know it's very annoying, isn't it? Very annoying. Isn't it irrational to start the same lineup for 3 games in a row without rotation? We're bound to encounter some kind of player discomfort and an injury. Hey, that's why I predicted us to not play the same starting 11 against Napoli. But I have to play. These are players who have to play against. I don't care if a game happened on Thursday. If these players are available, they must start against Arsenal. Obviously Donnarumma. Gavardio definitely has to start. Wherever you want to play him, Kusanov has to start. Rodri has to start. Foden has to start. I think Doku right now has to start. Reinders has to start. Haaland has to start. Minimum. And these are my minimums. So that's already 8. So the maximum amount of rotation is 3 that I'd be willing to accept. And one of those is Diaz, and that ain't going to happen. So that's a thing. And that leaves just Bernardo, who is the biggest question mark for me. And he's the one who I would be happy Bob coming in instead. And O'Reilly, who I could see Ake playing instead. Apart from that, though, I don't think you can justify the rotation. Because the Arsenal game is far more important than the Napoli game. Like, far more important. One is if we lost yesterday against Napoli, I'm not being funny, it's not the end of the world. Like, we still have loads of games of the group stage left. All you have to do is, like, get into the top 8 and qualify. It doesn't really matter. If we drew or didn't win, whatever, yesterday, it's not the end of the world. If we, like, lose on Sunday, that's big ramifications if we have any aspirations of being in a title race anyway. Massive game. So this is far more important. So I need my best team to be playing against Arsenal. Definitely. Why not Nico instead of Reinders for more stability? That could definitely be a thing. I just like Reinders a lot. And I think that City's best team has Reinders in it. I wouldn't be upset if I saw Nico starting, though, for a more solid midfield. I guess what I would say to that is, we're not going to win if we're looking at stability and being solid in the midfield, we're not going to win that battle against Arsenal. There is no world in which we win a physical, stable, strong battle against Arsenal's midfield, which has Rice, Zubimendi, Moreno. And I don't know what Ødegaard's situation is. But there's no world in which we can actually win that battle. So if the idea is start Nico to try to have a better chance of winning that battle, well, I'm looking at that battle as a lost cause anyway. So I'd rather try to approach it in a different sense. And that would be by having Reinders instead, to be honest. To be honest with you. The season would be a lot more enjoyable if you accept we don't win the league, says Musty. I am not a loser, okay? I'm a fucking winner. Yeah. I will not, and I don't have a loser mentality, I will not be giving up on the league until it's, like, unreasonable to suggest that we could win the league. And after 5 games, it is so not reasonable to say that City have no chance to win this league. We don't know yet. I'm not going to allow that or accept that. And because I'm not a loser, yeah? I don't accept that as a concept. I reject the concept. I'm pushing it out of the window, yeah? Oh my god, it's fallen. The police are coming. I'm going to get arrested. Crazy. No, it doesn't, Ari man. No, it doesn't. It stands for late. Haven't been impressed with reminders. That's a great slander name. Decision making, way to pass, way to start Nico over him. That's Fair's number 21. That made me chuckle. Oi, that's I feel like that's an insult, Quinton. I feel like that's an insult. What the hell? What's going on? Could Nunes start versus Arsenal? Only if you're playing Ake, and only if you want to play a back 3. Only if you want to play a back 2, sorry. What am I saying? If you want to play, if our starting point is want to play back 3, the only way you can play Nunes is if you play one of Ake or Gavardio at left back. That's the only way that can happen. Reminders, yeah, that's great. Nah, this beep sound is dead, man. I swear down. You guys have reacted well to this chat, so this might just be the new chat going forwards. I might see if I can maybe add in some sort of fancy thing to make it nice for members and mods, but if you guys prefer this chat, which has no sound, then that's a thing. City have no chance. Yeah, and that, you know what that is, Aquinas Francis? That is a loser mentality, I'm afraid to say. That's a loser mentality to have. Nah. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We can... I'm not confident that we'll win, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that we don't have any chance. Like, that's mad. That's mad to me. At the end of the day, it's 11 against 11, and Arsenal aren't this unbeatable team. You know, like, we can put up a good showing against them. We can put a good showing up against them. Oh, no, we're definitely... I will say that. There's a big difference between giving up on the league and accepting we're not favourites. Because we aren't favourites. And I said that before a ball was kicked, that Liverpool are clearly the favourites, or were clearly the favourites. Well, that doesn't mean I don't think City can potentially do something and at least compete. For sure. For sure. It's not over until it's over, yeah? That will never happen, Dave. Don't worry, mate. You can rest assured that won't ever happen. I always go on my little rants, which probably piss people off, but I don't care. Has to happen. I've got to stay true to myself, you know what I mean? And sometimes I go off on little rants. It happens. Excuse me. How do we accommodate both Foden and Shirky if we had to continue playing in a 3-2? I feel we want to maximise both their strengths. Really good question. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, because every single team that I've made as what I think the best team is, based on City squads, is... That was a weird noise, wasn't it? Is a 2-3. But that's based on City squads. I've said in the past, my preferred setup is actually a 3-2. I prefer a 3-2. I prefer that rest defence. The reason why I kept saying that maybe a 2-3 is probably better suited is because my starting point is how can I get in all my attacking players at the same time while still having it really balanced. And the only way you can do that is by having your fullbacks push up, which is a 2-3. But again, I prefer a 3-2. So how can you get Foden and Shirky into a 3-2? Let's think about this. So, or a 3-4-3 more so. The obvious way, first of all, is to just play Shirky at right wing. Like, that is an immediate, you know, that's how you solve it. Now, obviously, the problem is that you're not maximising Shirky. And as Fazl's just said here, how can we maximise their strengths? It is worth noting that Shirky at right wing isn't a bad option, like, at all. At all. It's a good point, Fenway. If Bernardo's technically been right wing, I don't see what Bernardo was doing that Shirky couldn't do. Certainly on ball anyway. Now it is worth noting that you won't get the best of Shirky, because to get the best of him, you do want him playing centrally. So I would say the best way to do it would probably be to play a double 10 system or a double 8-10 sort of vibe. So you could... Let me think about this. I'm going to start with the treble system in my head. We might come back to it. So if your back three encompasses the... number 21, we weren't having a go. It's just because lots of people make, slander names, insulting names. And I thought... I know that was a typo, but it was just funny because it sounded like a slander name. That's all. We weren't taking the piss, matey. Apologies if it came across like that. We were just having a bit of fun. So your back three would encompass the right back, centre back, probably the other centre back, or maybe the left back, and then you would want. Let's just for argument's sake, let's say. Gvardiol, because we can make this into a diamond midfield if we really want to. We can have Gvardiol left central midfield if you really wanted to, or Nori left central midfield, to be fair. So let's say that's a thing. So for the purposes of this conversation, let's say that it's Ait-Nouri pushing up into the midfield, either next to Rodri or just ahead of him to the left. In which case, you could easily like accommodate Doku at left wing. That's fine. You could have Haaland, obviously, as a striker. You can have, and then like Foden would have to be, he'd have to be at the right of it though, wouldn't he? So he's not maximised, is he? Actually, that's a shame. But lots of people do think he's better there, so he could do that. There is a way to do it. I need my tactical boards to think about it, but there's definitely a way you can do it in a 3-2. It might be easier in a 3-1, to be fair, but off ball it would work as well. Definitely, I'm convinced it can be done. I'm convinced it can be done. Jinx prefers a 3-2 also. What the hell, Musty? What is going on here? What is going on here? Beating Napoli last night. It's the first time we've beaten an actual big team in quite a while, says Lord Vader. Yeah, and United, but I know what you mean. They are stinky, aren't they? They are a little bit stinky. They are a little bit stinky. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you wouldn't have to, yeah, you couldn't play them on the touchline, obviously. There would need to be scope, and that's why you'd probably want whoever like the right central midfielder is / right centre back in possession to be, or I guess like an inverting situation. You'd need them to provide support, wouldn't you? It's like because I think I'm not having a go. I'm not having a go at him because I'm never going to judge Kusanov on his offensive ability. But there was a black hole of creativity from our right back yesterday. That's not his fault, obviously. I'm not going to, as I say, judge him based off that, but that is a reality. So that's just something to bear in mind as well. Yeah, I'm convinced there are ways to do it and still optimize it and make it work fine. The first port of call is always going to be, how are you going to create that 2? Are you going to do it by dropping a midfielder back? Or are you going to do it by pushing a defender up? That's always the first question. Because I guess you could, drop Foden back alongside Rodri. And then what about Ryan? But then you can't play Reinders, I've just realised. I need to play Reinders. No, that doesn't work, does it? Okay, maybe it is a little bit tricky than I thought. Because I forgot about Reinders. Yeah. It is possible. Oh, excuse me, I need some water. The more I'm thinking about it, the harder it is to get Reinders, Rodri, Foden, Shirky, Doku all into the same team in a 3-2. That's all. That's all. It can. I'm sure it can be a thing, though. Can be a thing. If Pep fails to figure it out, then that's on him. That's on him. Does he have a fearsome long shot? I don't think he scored a goal in his career, has he? Or am I being stupid? I don't think he ever scored for Lorne. Let me double check. I don't know what his record is with Uzbekistan, to be fair. Wait, he scored for us? Why don't I even remember that goal? When did he score for us? Goals 0. What? Oh, was it a cup game? Oh, the League Cup. I do not remember that game. Or FA Cup, was it? Sorry. No, FA Cup. Who did he score against in the FA Cup? Oh, Leyton Orient. Yeah, I so don't remember that game. Was that the one where De Bruyne had to come on and saved us? I seriously cannot remember that game. Oh, this one. Yeah, I remember that one. Bastard. What was he called? Sonny Perkins. Little prick. Yeah? You injured Nico on his debut, so he missed a Real Madrid game. You little prick. You've got an enemy for life there. An enemy for life. Bastard. Wasn't this an own goal? Because when I analysed him, I'm sure, I was like, oh, he scored from a corner. I'm pretty sure that was an own goal, though. Yeah, I so do not remember the goal. I remember the game, because I remember Nico's injury, and I remember De Bruyne and Foden coming on and saving us. I think that was it, though. Enemy for life, yeah, exactly. I think the Arsenal match will be a big test for Kassanov in the right centre-back position going forward this season, as well as Nico O'Reilly as the left-back. 100%. 100%. It is a... it's a what's it? If Kassanov has like an amazing game against Eze, like in the 1v1s, then I would definitely have to revise my position, because based on his career up until now, he struggled against that ilk of winger, not one who relies on pace necessarily, more so one who relies on trickery. That's always been his weakness, defending out wide. It was for Lon, certainly. So if he's able to deal with Eze, then I'm going to have to revise my position, to be fair. It's gonna revise. Yeah, it's gonna have to be a thing, isn't it? And I hope so. I hope it happens. See, people keep saying this, but the problem is that if you go back and watch the moments where Kassanov did well and the moments where Kassanov did poorly in that match, it echoes what I've just said there. That's great. When Vinicius tried to use his pace to get round Kassanov, and Kassanov was able to turn it into a pace battle and a physicality battle, there was only one winner there, and it was Kassanov. But when Bellingham and Vinicius slowed it down, and as I say, moved him around a little bit more, that's when they got the better of him. And that's what I keep talking about when I'm making this distinction between wide player. And that's, again, it's what I talked about in my analysis video. He's got a static torso. Yes, this is the term. And it means that it's relatively easy to manipulate him. Relatively easy to manipulate him if you are that sort of winger. Now, thankfully, not every winger can contort their opponent. Eze is one of those players. Matoma is one of those players. Who else is one of those players? Doku is one of those players as well. Thankfully, never has to play against Doku. But if it's just about, as I say, if it's just a battle of like pace and strength, like, to be fair, Walker was never like, well, no, that's harsh. In his later days, Walker lost that side to his game. But even when he was losing that bit of his game, I was still comfortable with him coming up against Vinicius, because I knew that it was just going to be a battle of pace. Basically, I knew that Walker had the beating of him every single time. You just got to be faster and stronger, of course. So I would actually, so if we play Real Madrid, I would, and Kassanov had a good game, it would make sense for him to actually do that. Again, it's the sort of other type of mould. This is why this Eze, if he plays right back, it's going to be such an interesting game. And if he does do well, and he like is able to like mitigate his own weaknesses, and or he just doesn't show those weaknesses, then clearly behind the scenes there's been massive improvement since his time at Lon, which is very exciting, of course. Of course. You get me? Yeah, Fenway, basically, yeah. I think that basically summarizes it. Because every single time I've seen it, I even saw it yesterday, to be fair, when Spinazzola started. It happened then as well. But then when it became more of a physical, Kassanov was able to get tight to him, he was able to deal with it really well. That elk player, what is going on? Oh dear. He's not agile for the normal people. Yeah, exactly. Eze's unstoppable. Who wouldn't struggle against him? Says Potato. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be such a big task. I'm doing the final touch. I have no idea I don't know what this means. It is a fantastic name. I think Gianluigi Donnarumma is one of the most powerful names in world football. Like, it's up there with Bastian Schweinsteiger. Like, it's up there. Yeah, I think he will need support. I definitely agree. He'll do well as a right side centre back, which he played as. Yeah. I mean, we're just talking about defending as well, to be fair. Like, if we're talking about on-ball progression, then obviously there's not going to be much. And that's not his fault. That's not his fault, of course. Firebond says Nunes versus Eze is much better. I don't know what is happening here. I will send link off photo. I don't know what this is. What are you talking about, man? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. You can't send a link in this chat. You're not a moderator. You can't do it. Or maybe that's why members couldn't send links, because I think I've got it so that only mods can send links. That's why they couldn't send images. I can change that. I can amend that, can't I? Yes, I think. Fan art. Pop it in the Discord, matey. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see it here. Or tag it on Twitter or something. Mods can send links, yes, because it's like a security thing. Otherwise, any like bot could come in and spam a load of horrible links. So I've got to be careful, yeah. Anyway, guys, I feel like we've been live for quite a decent amount of time there. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Do we have any final questions or thoughts before I shoot off? Maybe let me know what you think the score's going to be on Sunday, because there won't be another live show before then. There won't be another live show before then. Hello, Hazza. We're so close to 150 likes, by the way. Let's get up there. Let's get it up here. Let's get it up here. It was a Rickroll. Oh, for God's sake. Amazing. Yeah, get your score predictions in. 1-1. I'm going to say... Am I going to predict Donnarumma to concede a goal, though? No. 0-0. I am predicting Donnarumma to concede. Are you insane? Where is he? Where's my boy? I'm predicting this guy to concede. Look at him. Are you mad? Hello? You guys are crazy. He's keeping it 0-0. He's keeping it 0-0. Clean sheet for the boys. We will be doing a watch-along. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Fireball. Yeah. Yes, good point, Musty. Good point. Big Don will assure us victory. Well, no. He will assure us a clean sheet, for sure, for sure. We'll concede on a corner or free kick. Yeah, to be fair. Although they have lost Saka, of course. I know Rice is still very good at corners. But they have lost Saka, who's their main corner taker, from that right side in particular. Yes, he's got a Louis Vuitton bag, exactly. Look at it. Like, look at how sharp he is. You know what I mean? My bloody Donnarumma shirt is still not arrived. I mean, I did order it from a very not legitimate site, so, fair play. But where is it? I ordered it on the 1st of September. Yeah? That's how committed I am to the cause. You know what I mean? I've invested real money into Donnarumma stocks. I've got the cardboard cutout and I've got the shirt on the way. What have you guys done? Yeah, what have you guys done? Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. No commitment. Little fraudsters. Little charlatans. Of course it's the pink one, yeah. I was probably going to get the pink one anyway, because of how gorgeous it is, because pink's one of my favourite colours, but there we go. I'm not ripped off. Hey, I'm chill. Exactly, he'll shut them out. He's going to have a game, like, as against Arsenal in that second leg. I don't know what that is, man. I'll be so honest with you. Get a signed jersey, says Aman. What's funny is that LNobbins has now owns, it's not signed, but she owns 2 match-worn Edison shirts. Because she's in a wheelchair, so like and what's funny is it was at Everton last season away, and Everton away the season before as well. And I think he remembered her the second time round. So like the first time he gave him his top, and then the second time he recognised her and gave her another one. So she owns 2 match-worn Edison tops. There's no evidence that they are match-worn, like he didn't sign them or anything, but they are indeed match-worn. So maybe what I should do is, when we play Everton away, oh no, it's not going to be at the Goodison Park. Oh, who cares? Maybe I'll give it to LNobbins, and she can use her charm to get Donnarumma to sign it or something. Wouldn't that be cute? Wouldn't that be cute? Oh, gosh. Yeah, big up to LNobbins, absolutely. I want Haaland to score versus Arsenal, don't we all? I mean, there is this really weird myth that he never turns up or plays well against Arsenal, but hasn't he got like 4 goals and assists against them or something? Let's double check. And Nana Nobbins' prediction was 3-0. So she got close. She did 3-0 for the Manchester derby as well. Record against Arsenal. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists in 6 Premier League games. So, what are we doing? Like, what's occurring? This weird notion that really weird idea that he doesn't turn up in like big games or something. It's just nonsensical. It's just mad. Hasn't he scored against like everyone multiple times? He's got 8 goals and 3 assists against Man United, 7 goals and 2 assists against Bayern, 4 goals and 2 assists against Arsenal, 4 goals and assist against Spurs, 4 goals and 2 assists against Chelsea. What else have we got? 3 goals against PSG. 2 goals against Real Madrid. Goal and 2 assists against Newcastle, sorry. An assist against City. That's fairs. And I know he's got at least a goal against Liverpool as well. I think he's got 2 goals against Liverpool actually. Can't recall. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what's going on. The Arsenal one's really weird. Like, do they not remember the treble-winning year when he dunked on them? I mean, clearly not. But, you know. You know. You know. Odd one. Odd one. I want to say to my friend Arteta, if he wins Premier League title, well, it would just be because of the spending, not because it was like so cheeky. Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah, that was annoying as well, wasn't it? That was really annoying because they kept moving the goalposts, didn't they? Because he got a goal in 22-23. But that was because... Wait, who didn't play away? I'm sure Gabriel and Saliba played that day, didn't they? At the Emirates, the 3-1, he scored a goal. Did Saliba not play that day? Are you sure? How confident are you that he didn't start the away game? Because I know, yeah, that's at the Etihad, but I'm talking about away at the Emirates. I think that he started that game. I think that it was Gabriel Saliba that day. I'm going to double check. I'm pretty sure they both started. 403 forbidden. Request forbidden by administrative rules. Brilliant. That's nice. So Arsenal 1-3 Man City 2023. Let's have a look, see. Yeah, it was Gabriel Saliba. So literally the first... So that's not even mad the more I think about it, because you're right, you guys are right. The argument was always, oh, well, at the Etihad, he only played Rob Holding. Well, first of all, he dunked on Gabriel, but secondly, he's literally already scored against them. That's odd. And obviously, last season was a thing as well. So I don't really understand where that narrative even comes from. It's not even partly based in truth. It's based in bollocks. It's based in insanity. Oh, was that the excuse? They didn't have Ben White. They had Tomiyasu instead. There's always an excuse, isn't there? There's always an excuse. That's what we're talking about, the Emirates game. Yeah. Mad. Even the 1-0 fateful draw where Rodri tore his ACL. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I'm so convinced that we were going to batter them that day. I'm so confident we were going to batter them that day, like 2 or 3-0. Because we hit the crossbar or the post. I think Gundogan did. We were all over them. We were all over them that day. And then the rest is history, of course. Crazy. Arsenal fans dismissed it on that it was against Holding and not Gabriel Saliba, but he scored on them since then, so the argument's dead. Indeed, Fenway, and he scored against them before as well. So it's just bizarre. Power's out now, I just don't have the lights on. I could turn the lights on, but, you know, there's no point because it's bright enough outside. When's stream going to end? You don't have to stay, Am. I mean, it is about to wrap up, but if you ever get bored, guys, you don't have to stay, you know? I mean, thank you, but you don't have to. You don't have to stay, guys. It's fine. Okay. Cool. Good chat today, I think, everyone. We discussed the Napoli situation. The good performances. Interesting pressing situation. But is it just because it was only there for 20 minutes? Who knows? Arsenal will be the bigger challenge, of course, and it's going to be the really good test for a lot of players. I'm really interested to see if Arsenal press us and if Eze plays against Kusanov. I'm going to be so interested to see how do we deal with that. You know, how will Kusanov deal in the 1v1? I hope really well. How will Donnarumma deal with what I assume will be intense pressing from Arsenal? Hopefully, we can really well. Hopefully, whatever we do, we can figure it out. It's going to be a massive test in a fair few number of areas. Let me go. Kobe says that Foden adapting to what we need to take open my eyes. Hey, there's free philosophy on this channel. You know what I mean? Free philosophy. We love to see it. We really do. Thank you so much for joining, as always. Shout out to all my wonderful members. This won't have updated with all the new people, but thank you so much to Jings and Shark Edge for joining the Ultras Club. I do need to put out some more member-exclusive content. So this has just been quite a hectic week because of the Thursday to Sunday football and the Donnarumma video and blah, 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 blah. So there will be more member-exclusive content coming, probably at the start of next week. So if you want that, and if you want to support me, if you want to join these lovely people, hit that join button, get a random footballer, make it so that I own a photo of your face, yeah? I now own all your intellectual property. Yeah? That means I can do whatever I want. It's like that Temu scam that happened like last year or something. You know, when you had loads of people like sharing Temu links, like selling their soul for like 100 quid or something. It's like that. You subscribe to this channel, you sell your soul. Look at that. This is so sick, by the way. Can I get final thoughts on this chat? Do we prefer old chat or this chat? I can maybe change this chat slightly. I don't know what I can change exactly, necessarily, because it's not as adaptable as my old one, but I can potentially look into it. Everyone's saying new. Okay, good. That's good. That's really good to know. 'Cause that's better for me, because this chat's a lot easier to implement. I'll just work around it. Username color change from red to blue. Oh, that's a good point. How do I do that? It might be blue just because it's YouTube. Let me. Don't go anywhere. You guys need to help me trial and error this shit. Don't go anywhere. If you go now, you get banned for life. For real. How do I, what is this? What am I clicking? Here we go. Oh, I don't know if you can change the color. That's a shame. I don't think you can, guys. I don't think you can. I can change other things, but I can't do that. I can change the font and the font size. I can change the bubble color, but I don't really want to do that. I will get in touch with... No, you can't, Kazoo. I will get in touch with my contacts, and I will see if I can change it. But it may well be the case that we can't change the color, which would be a massive shame, of course. But I'll do my best to try to implement that. We shall see, though. I'd love it to be city blue. Of course, that would be great, but we shall see. We shall see. Don't like the reds. Well, if it does have to stay red, is that still better or worse than the other one? I guess is the question. I guess that is the question. The red's fine. I think it's red because of... It'll be interesting. In fact, if I'm gonna do something. Ah. How interesting. So it can... Because Twitch lets you set the color of your username. YouTube doesn't. So that it's defaulting to red on YouTube. Whereas on Twitch, it lets you change the... It lets you change the color. So that's a thing, isn't it? That is a thing. But again, that's on Twitch. That's because on Twitch they let you change the color, whereas on YouTube they don't. And I think it's interesting that it's decided that all YouTube must be red. Anyway, thank you guys. So yeah, there you go. So on Twitch it will change the color. On YouTube, it defaults to YouTube because YouTube is red by definition. This has been a long troubleshooting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to spend the rest of today doing some PC background stuff to try to improve the quality of life of the setup. So there won't be a Napoli video. I apologise for that. But there will be an Arsenal preview tomorrow. Stay tuned. Until then, guys, thank you so much for joining. Go follow the Twitch, twitch.tv/LNobbins. Bye, guys. I look like a mug. My buttons aren't working. I had to fix that as well. That should have ended the stream. Okay. But I'll have to do it manually now. Bye-bye.